where we do our mass updates, our mass taggings, our mass, exportings, our deletings. There's also where we can manage our duplicates. This is a newer functionality that Keap has tossed into the pro system here. That's really cool. This allows us to scan our CRM and see if we can find any contacts inside of our database. This also gives us the ability to merge those contacts, so that way we can remove them and get them out of here. When you click on the manage duplicates, it's going to open up the menu. It's going to give you a quick little introduction. It's going to explain to you what the different rules are and the checks. But let me just give you guys the Cliff Notes version, right? So there's strict versus loose. Strict means that there's multiple steps that they have to go through to verify that they are in fact a duplicate. It's the most accurate way of doing it. It's also the most red tape, right? The loose is quicker, right? But if we don't have a complete thought through strategy of identifying who those contacts are, we leave ourselves open for them to have a falling out, right? They'll find an area to fall out of that. Make sense? Mm-hmm. All right. Good fields for dupe checking. This is just telling you which ones are the primary that Keap has identified as the most accurate fields to use for duplicate checking. Nothing really important there. When you click on next, it's going to ask you, how do you want to do this? Do you want to scan your entire database? That's not a bad deal if you got 1,000 folks, but that's a big deal if you got 10, 50, 100,000 people, right? So if you do have a lot of contacts and you want to run the duplicate check, please do it. Don't not, right? But just make sure that when you do perform that action, make sure it's not during like a busy time for the day, right? Do it before you clock out for the night, so that way it's just running in the background while nobody's there. Because when it goes to perform that, it's going to pull a lot of system resources, and you're going to notice the application is going to start to lose performance. It's not going to be as snappy or as sharp. Okay. Now, when you click through it, it's going to bring you into your check logic phase, and this is where you're going to get strict versus loose, right? Now, you can see here, all these blue check marks means we're checking for every one of those data points multiple times on contact records to make sure that these people are, in fact, duplicates, right? This would be considered strict because of how everything is selected. But let's say we deselected 2 stages. Even though stage 1 has these multiple checks, it's still considered to be loose because it's not checking these fields either. Make sense? Mm-hmm. Let's say we wanted to just do a big in-depth one, though. We would just click next, leave everything blue lit up. It's going to say, hey, this is going to begin the process. Are you sure you want to continue? We say, yep. And then it begins to work. Now, when it's on this screen, you don't have to stay here, right? But the worst thing that you can do is refresh it or hit the back button in Chrome. I would say either leave it alone and go to a different tab and let it process, or use the back button here at the top. Those are your only 2 safe places, okay? Now, you can see that the action has been completed. It did a full duplicate check for our 19 bogus contacts here, right? From there, it gives you a couple different options. It's going to say, hey, do you want to see who those people are? Well, heck yeah, I want to see who those people are. Looks like we just have one that JB, our co-founder here, made when he was playing around with it. What it'll do is it'll show you who the duplicate's identified as. This would be duplicate Jason Benedict with his ID of 103. Now, when a contact record gets created in Keap, they all get assigned this ID number. There's no changing that, right? There's no visibility from the customer to know that. So we know that this was a duplicate accidentally created because we already have number 4 here for Jason.